reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. MMO Reporter's PAX 2012 coverage is brought to you by Guild Launch. Slay more dragons with Guild Launch. So we're here at the Warner Brothers booth with Ruth, senior producer on Guardians of Middle-earth. Can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, the most exciting thing about Guardians of Middle-earth is that it's a MOBA on consoles, so it's really a new kind of competitive experience for console gamers.
And how are you working around some of the difficulties that you're going to have controlling a MOBA with a game controller instead of the mouse and keyboard that people are used to?
Yeah, we knew that the controls were going to be a challenge, so we spent a lot of time on them. We did tons of usability testing. We iterated a lot. We actually ended up with two control schemes. So there's one that's a little more basic, that's what we're showing it here at PAX. And then there's another one that's more advanced that you can switch to once you've kind of mastered the basic control scheme. But they're both surprisingly effective. I think that everyone who comes to the game and tries it is really surprised at how well that it works. And the controls ended up being pretty close to an action RPG, which kind of surprised us, but you know, it makes sense because we're using the same controller.
Yeah, it was really interesting playing it just a few minutes ago. It still felt very fast-paced, which was something I was surprised with on a console with a MOBA, with a controller, still being able to have that fast-paced energy. It seems like the games tend to be very frenetic as you play.
Yeah, our games are actually shorter than most PC MOBA matches. They tend to be about 20 minutes. The ones at PAX are time-limited to 15 minutes just so we get people through the line, but generally the games are about 20 minutes long. You do level up a lot faster during the match, so you can go from level 1 to level 14 in 15 minutes. And then also because the map's a little smaller, there's a lot more moving between lanes, a lot more big team fights. So yeah, it is I think a little more action-packed and kind of frenetic than you'll see in a PC MOBA usually.
So how does the Lord of the Rings license work into it? I mean, it's obvious, Guardians of Middle-earth. That's got to be Lord of the Rings. How does that work out?
Yeah, so what we did is we looked at the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, and we pulled out the characters that we thought would be really interesting to play in a MOBA. So obviously we have, you know, Legolas and Gandalf, some really well-known ones, but we also kind of dug deeper in the lore, and we knew that developing our tactician class, which is kind of a new class that's all about lane pushing, we looked at, you know, who would be a siege master, who would build siege machines, and there's a lot of that mentioned, but there's no specific characters that do that in the books. So we kind of created characters based on races or mentions in the books.
So is that, I don't know the name, but there was one character who was laying barrels down that would explode. Is that the tactician class?
Yeah, he's a tactician. That's Hildefon's the Hobbit. It's Hildefon's Took. He's actually Bilbo's uncle. And in the books it says that he went away on an adventure and never came back, but it never says what happened to him. So we decided it'd be interesting if he kind of rediscovered Dwarven fire and, you know, got all these fire-based abilities. And he's really good at controlling a lane and just locking down a lane.
So what are you guys bringing to the MOBA genre? I mean, there's tons of games that are out there. You've got the license. What else are you bringing that's unique to the game?
Well, I think, again, the main thing that's unique is that we're on a console, and that's very new for MOBAs. I think we're going to bring new people into the MOBA genre by doing that. We also have tower upgrades and soldier upgrades, so you can upgrade all of your towers 4 different ways. You can also upgrade the soldiers in your lane to 4 different upgrades. Those are unlocked as you level up your Guardian. So I think that's really interesting for players because it gives them more ways to be strategic on the map and to kind of push the lanes differently. So that's pretty different. We also have shrines in the jungle that you can capture that give your whole team a buff.
Maximizing our potential of it. Sauron here being level 5 and a level 2 Aragorn, he does have the advantage when you do hit level 5 in Guardians of the Third, you can transfer into your ultimate. Sauron's ultimate being at level 5, meaning that every single Guardian on the map will be effective as not, and after 5 seconds, every single Guardian is experienced.
Well, Sauron playing a really delicate game here. He's used the Lucas and he's trying to use some damage to everyone on the map as well as the program. They're going to get light. Aragorn just barely going to walk away from that one, but it seems like Sauron's just doing a great job of using his tower to hold these guys off. It's really low, but he's well aware of the fact that when under the protection of his tower, should he get attacked by an enemy Guardian, the tower will immediately target that Guardian. So in the meantime, this middle lane is really just getting crazy with that. While I'm really playing it gently though, because he sees just how much damage he just here. He's getting punched like a ton of bricks by Hildefon's abilities. He kind of sees that, he smells blood, but he's probably just going to walk away. In the meantime, Sauron using the support ability to upgrade and doing a massive level 6 compared to the level 3 and level 2 of Gandalf and Nori. Just not going to do much. Going to be able to finish off Nori. Gandalf is barely going to escape with his life, and now they've got a great opportunity to come up and slug into this tower a little bit with the help of their soldiers with speed shields.
Now, although the right team did first blood, if you look at the level, if you look at the points parity at the top, it is in favor of the team on the left. They're 150 points, 61, with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left. Now, the points is, of course, in this effect. Every single Guardian you kill is 4 points. Every single Shuriken you kill is 50 points. So if you can effectively 8 the team, you have to kill the amount of points that structure will give. Now remember, what that means is that structure is very vital in trying to win this game. And the point system does take an effect when the time runs at the top. So if you have the highest points, by the time the 20 minutes are over, you do win the match. Or if you can maybe score the nexus before the game ends.
Yeah, that's right. That's getting especially important now as we get roughly to the halfway point of this game. We've got just 8.5 minutes left in this game, and the West team has a pretty commanding 261-point lead. Nori, Golem, and Gandalf are going to push up here. Even though Legolas is level 6, he is a striker who makes him exceptionally fragile comparatively speaking against both Gandalf and Nori. The Golem himself is Nolafon is trying to grab this farm. He's going to go and do what he can to fight it, but unfortunately it looks like there's too much going on. Arathorn is pushing up a little too far. Ulu is not going to capitalize on that opportunity. If he really passes that, this is out on a great chance to take out Arathorn. He and Wolfrun are going to go ahead and try and push back a little bit more in that bottom lane with the assistance of their soldiers. The West team continues to have a really strong lead. Although Ulu, actually just having had a chance to kill Arathorn, may go down by air. Arathorn ran into him, and he's just barely going to escape as well. A lot of close calls in this game so far.
Does go off the hook with unfortunately Arathorn and Wolfrun are not maximizing on the situation that they were in. They should have gone to the filter, unfortunately did not get to it. Wolfrun is level 7 however, meaning he can have a level 4. The rest of Schaefer pushing Galadriel and over the back, and into the game before Ozil to bounce in the wrong position. Galadriel trying to get this game using golden gaze on Wolfrun. Legolas is fighting Nori at top. It is a bit of a matchup. It is advantage of Nori. Although there is level 7 Legolas, as you can see, his allies are coming around, but Sauron is trying to come around, trying to gain. Unfortunately, he's not getting a kill on Gandalf. Legolas is trying to take advantage of this. Leveling as much as he can. He's halfway through level 8. And we can stop here, effectively winning a 1v2 situation. From our Wolfrun is a kill.
Does a great job there stomping out Nori and basically preventing that top lane from going into any kind of control of the West team. He and Legolas are causing a really huge threat up there. Even though Wolfrun's coming up on level 7, he's going to go ahead and hold up there a little bit. Arathorn is going to go ahead and retreat a bit. Galadriel and Ugly are still pushing that bottom lane really effectively. He's level 6 and level 4. He is level 6 now. He actually just got one more. He's been distributing his abilities pretty well though. It looks like he's going to go ahead and grab Ranger Strike, which is his ultimate, which does a whole load of damage. He's doing on Galadriel right now. Though, being one of the much stronger tankier Rangers, she can really take that damage effectively and not much as it happens. Arathorn goes down to Galadriel, and not a whole lot really ends up there on the favor of the East.
So looking at level 9 Sauron and level 8 like this might be a really poor situation. The Rector Rangers does push him away, but it looks like they're going to go in there. Sorry, popping his ultimate, ends up beating Sauron, knocking him up, doing a bit of damage. Sauron does the shadow off to the right. Unfortunately, Legolas is still on attacking. Huge chunk of his health. Good Golem's ultimate. Sauron popping with his eyes up here. All three of them, he does get 1 kill, 2 kills, and 1 more auto attack on Wolfrun. Will get into the fortunately Wolfrun does pop his ultimate. So Legolas trying to close the gap, trying to auto attack. And a good Rector Vapors does close the gap with him, and Sauron cannot finish the kill.
Great play there by the team on the West. They did a good job of basically just making those damage all in the top lane. Gandalf didn't fall for it, but it seems like Sauron by Joel is going to continue this lane to everyone around. And Galadriel unfortunately goes down after doing a really good job supporting his team. It looks like Sauron is going to become the target of favor for that tower at the bottom. In the meantime, the West team pushing right for that base. Unfortunately, Legolas goes down right there. He's making a really strong push, but Hildefon's team is there. Sauron and Uglu not being returned for even a second. He's going to continue to push that bottom. And it looks like Golem here is a really difficult state. They're going to try and do what he can to fight that against what's going on here, but you can see the pressure coming this way. Can use power to get that third deal a little bit quicker, but it seems like the team is really in a lot of trouble right now.
Coming back full health, trying out by the low Arathorn and a low Nori. They are in advantage right now. The majority of them are sitting in the base. Unfortunately, they do need to go back field. We see Dom trying to get a chase on the level 10 hill funds. All he has to do is just try to close the gap as best he can. And even if he's doing this, we'll probably try to get stuff, but he does use counter, try to close in. One of the hill funds, but he's going to use, unfortunately, he's going to damage. He does get golden games by Gladriel on top of another. One more auto attack does get scope on Legolas, give him another level, give him his damage, give him his on back to level, takes the other help. He does use trick ball, but is giving a lot for his team story. Although she is going to just have the capability to help him out. You see Legolas pop his speakers, bring her auto attack, does help Airborne, Airborne coming in. Let's take our first one and close to the large game, let's go down. Unfortunately, Legolas does miss the stun, but Legolas is able to maximize in that situation and get another kill. Legolas trying to get a little bit of if he does miss, he's might have bar doing. But a nice flow on Legolas will help Sauron get that kill.
Yeah, the team of the West, they did a great job. It seemed like Sauron and Legolas were working really, really well together. Legolas was just laying into people. In the meantime, Sauron was doing everything he could to draw attention. They just worked really in their favor, and they were able to get the last lash in a lot of those plays. In the meantime, Randall and Gollum just absolutely laying into Uther there in the bottom lane. In the meantime, they can take out their soldiers and continue to push as much as they can into the base. It looks like the Western stage is really in a lot of trouble. Legolas is just doing as much as he can, pushes Aragorn away. A little too dangerous to play. It looks like Gladriel held up on the Legolas. They're going to really be able to work together here as a cohesive unit to try and take these guys out. They're going to continue to harass and basically lead themselves in a situation where they can hopefully do into the enemy base and finish this game on their terms. But as this game comes down to the 2-minute and 40-second mark, it looks like they're going to live things purely on points.
We're seeing yourself by Philippons trying to use the pressure as tactician, using his ultimate, half of the strap. He does knock Nori back. Nori does get golden gauge by Gladriel, giving him another kill. Calls down on John, using Weird Star on Philippons, closing the gap, but Philippons trying to run away as best he can. Looking John does get previously by Legolas, moving his face, but he does get pulled in by Gladriel. Here, Gollum is trying to fix the best he can. Great point by on Legolas. Will they win the kill? Chris Scott, and then auto attack on Gandalf does get another kill. Like, you see, cool down, there's 2 minutes left, 490 to 100 points. It was like, this was real good. Left here. And we see Hildebrand here, he is remarkable, which means he's on a kill streak. Every time you do land a consecutive kill, you do get some structure buffs, meaning the more kills you do have, the more damage you do structure. So you will actually you accelerate the game. You see Wolverine here, popping on top of pressure, just knocking everyone back. And unfortunately, it's too little too late, and they are losing all the structures. More points are being more than 50 left here. 550 points, Tomandl, John, losing on Woodley. Does get a kill, so we're going to start the attack, but not without his body in the process.
Yeah, the West team just absolutely breaking this one line over. It seems like even those Tomandl haven't used all his skill points. He still had 4 to distribute. He was just up there doing a ton of damage and doing what's trying to do best. Sauron going to come in here, trying to help out. Wolfram is really stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it looks like he and Legolas and Hildebrand are probably going to be able to take him. Gladriel going to come in and help out Lily in the arrow through that one, just out a little bit of insult to injury. It looks like they're going to go ahead and try and push and take out these towers if they can. But in the meantime, it just seems like the West, or part of the East team is going to try to recover any way that they can, try and fight back to this. But in the meantime, the West team is really bringing absolutely too much heat right now. They just can't stand up for this. They've got too many soldiers in their base, and there isn't a whole lot they can do other than trying to mitigate the damage at this point. As we come down to the 30-second mark, the West team's going to win by points, and that's not a bad place to be at all.
It's time in a 1v1 situation. The Spartans does get kill along with he had 2 kills without a swap at all. If you look at every single Guardian on the left side team, they do have structure damage buffs aside from Ogla. But Ogla is taking damage to get too close to Fountain. Now he's on another counter. He does use his ultimate on Nori, but unfortunately he does with 4 left.
Right there it is, done and dusted. Thanks for playing Guardians of the Earth, everyone. It'll be out later this year on Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network.
So when you head home at the end of the day, you've worked on the game all day. What character do you pick when you jump in a game?
My favorite character right now, well, I do really like Hildefonds, but I also like Nori. He's a new character that we're just showing here at PAX. He's also a tactician, but he's a dwarf. And he has a lot of mining-based, structure-based abilities. So when he's near a structure, all his damage is higher and his abilities work better. He's got some shields, so he's very versatile and he's fun to play for me.
So, any word on when we can see this game, when it's coming out?
We are coming out this fall. We don't have a set release date yet, but it'll be this fall on XBLA and PSN.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing it again, and thank you very much for your time.
Great, thank you.